From 2021 through 2024, Noah Lyles had done something that had not been done in decades. For this 3-year period, Lyles held an undefeated record over the half-lap distance, the 200 meters. And during these undefeated races, he won the World Championships, he broke the American record, he went under 19.8 more than 10 times, and then he went on to repeat his World Championship gold in the 2023 World Finals. Noah's dominance and unrivaled consistency in this discipline was next to unmatched by anyone in history, and even when compared against the great Usain Bolt, Noah had actually managed to achieve more sub-20-second clockings than the great Bolt himself, giving Noah the title with the most sub-20 clockings in history. Clearly, Noah's reign as the 200 king was next to unbreakable at the time, and heading into the 2024 Paris Games, it seemed as though his unbeaten streak would continue straight through these Olympics. However, that is not what happened, because in the 200 final, we saw Letsile Tebogo from Botswana, the 21-year-old, upset Lyles with a new African record in 19.46 seconds. Seeing Noah dethroned like this was not something that most people expected. After taking the gold medal in the 100 in one of the closest races in history, Noah's odds actually went up in the 200, and given that he had always been a primary 200 runner, this likely meant that we were in for something special. However, that is just not what happened, as Tebogo's form in the final was next level, and he came away with a famous win. Out of all the athletes that Noah had faced over the years, from Bernarek to Ariane Knighton to Andre DeGrasse and Fred Curley, all very talented 200 runners, Tebogo would ultimately be the athlete who took this victory. And yes, it is important to mention that Noah was diagnosed with COVID-19 just a few days before this Olympic final. But either way, Tebogo's position as one of the big names in the 200 was solidified, and it seemed quite likely that he would be the one to challenge Noah in the future. Fast forward to 2025, and this is precisely what we are seeing, because even though Noah has been undefeated this year in the 200 meters once again, Tebogo has been painfully close, falling just 0.02 seconds shy of Noah, and this came in one of the biggest races of the year. Now, coming into the 2025 World Champs in Tokyo, the battle between these two was looking incredibly exciting, and given that they both were reporting good fitness and high optimism about the 100 and the 200, it seemed plausible that they could challenge each other in both events. However, come the 100 final, Tebogo unfortunately false started, meaning that he would not be able to race in this specific final. Now, most did not see Tebogo in the 100 podium, given that he would have to race against Kashane Thompson, Seville, Lyles, and also Bernarek. However, he was looking quite solid during the qualifying rounds, and given that he ran a 9:87 last year in the Olympic final, a time that would have medaled in this year's World Champs, who knows, it very well could have happened. This was quite unfortunate to see, as such a promising young sprinter wasn't even able to start come the final. However, there is still light at the end of the tunnel, because we have yet another final to take place that could bring out the best in both Tebogo and also in Noah Lyles. In the men's 200 meters, we are set to see these two clash in what I believe is going to be one of the greatest races of 2025. After not even racing in the 100, Tebogo likely feels as though he has something left to prove, and given that he didn't even race here, his legs have one less performance as compared to Noah. Also, and this is a very big deal, given that Tebogo is the defending Olympic champ, I am sure that he is looking to defend his crown. This season alone, Tebogo has dropped 2 separate 19.76 second times, but it was his most recent performance that really proved his speed, because for the Diamond League final, he not only finished directly behind Noah, but he ran this time into a headwind of negative 0.6 meters per second, which if converted to neutral wind, comes out to around 19.7 flat. And yes, I realize that some of our recent wind estimations have been slightly off in the past, but this one looks correct to me, and it also looks correct to our team. Now, Tebogo's abilities are likely going to put him at least in the 19.7s, but when combined with the presence of Noah, things are looking to get even faster. In the history of Noah racing against Tebogo in the 200, they both have run shockingly quick. For Noah, his performances come out to 1947, 1952, 20.08, 1907, and in 2025, 1988, and 1974. This means that throughout their racing history, Noah's average time comes out to 1973, and if we take away the 20.08, which was a qualifying round in last year's Olympics, it comes out to just under 19.7. And when we look at Tebogo's average performances over these last 3 seasons, his result comes out to 19.74, which is practically the exact same as Noah Lyles. If history is any indication, when these two line up to race, we should expect something fast. But there's so much more to this season than a typical year of running. That's because both have something left to prove. For Noah, he is unquestionably looking to take back his 200-meter king card. And in addition to gaining the dominance that comes with such a win, Noah is also chasing another type of history, and it's something that only Usain Bolt has ever achieved. Here's the list of every single 200-meter world champion on the men's side since the inception of the World Championships all the way back in 1983. As you can see, there are some heavy hitters on this list. There's Michael Johnson, there's Calvin Smith, Otto Bolden, and also Tyson Gay. However, from 2009 through 2015, Bolt became the undisputed greatest 200 athlete of all time, as he went on to win 4 straight titles. This was truly history being made by the GOAT himself, Bolt. However, if Noah can win this year's World Champs in Tokyo, he will actually match Bolt as the only other person to win 4 consecutive World Championship titles. Now, this pursuit for Noah started all the way back in 2019, when at just 22, he took his very first 200 title in 19.83 seconds. This would ultimately be the very beginning of a generational talent who proved to be crazy clutch on the world stage. And following this 2019 win, he went on to defend his world titles in 2022 and in 23. But for 2025, Noah will certainly have some challenges, because while Letsile Tebogo will be looking to give Noah a true run for his money, there are many great names set to line up and challenge the world this year in the 200 meters. There's Robert Gregory, there's Alexander Ogando, Andre DeGrasse, Zarnell Hughes, and there's also Gout, the teenage prodigy from Australia who's looking to make some noise in his first international championship. And even though he's not exactly expected to medal given the talent, it will be very exciting to see him race. However, beyond just Letsile, there is one man who is without question looking to challenge Noah in this year's 200, and this man is Kenny Bernarek. In 2025, Bernarek has been having a season to remember. He dropped a 9.79, wind legal in the 100. He dropped a season's best of 1967 in the 200. And for quite a while, Kenny Bernarek was completely unbeaten, not losing a single race in the Grand Slam series, and he was unchallenged for the better part of 3 months. For a while, Kenny was considered as the most consistent sprinter in 2025. But then, come the 2025 US Nationals, this happened. This was the push heard around the world, because at the United States trials, Noah managed to take down Bernarek by just 0.04 seconds with a time of 1963. But after the race, Kenny actually pushed Noah, and this revealed a new rivalry over the 200. This racing tension has somewhat been settled, but there will still undoubtedly be the desire to win come this year's World Championships from both parties. And given that Bernarek had a terrible start in the 100 meters, where he was certainly looking for a medal, there is no question in my mind that he is going to be laser focused on running super fast in the 200. With Benarek's racing record and these season's bests in 2025, he clearly has a shot at not just winning a medal in the 2, but potentially winning a gold medal in the 2. But he will have to contend with Noah Lyles and Letsile Tebogo. The clash of these greats is going to be a clear highlight of this year's World Champs. And while I'm not going to throw out any exact predictions, I think that the winning time will be somewhere between 19.4 and 19.5. You heard it here first. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.